back to Plasticity Live. In this episode, I want to test out Plasticity input and output file format. So the one that I have, the one I'm currently using, this is this indie versions, $99 and this version have STEP, OBJ, and Parasolid import export. The studio version actually have the IGES. This is actually really important. It's a CAD format similar to STEP, I guess. That might include curve or subdivision surface or things like that. So let's actually try. First of all, if you try OBJ, you will be very surprised. Let me try just Susan head, file, export OBJ, save it on the desktop, save it as monkey OBJ. You will be surprised when you do this. Okay, file, open will not do it. You have to just F and then import. And I will import Suzanne, monkey head. Now inside Plasticity, you will see Suzanne comes as empty. So this is where you get surprised, because you cannot actually use this for snapping or things like that. See, it's snapping only on the grid. It doesn't snap on this object. You can only use it as a reference. So yeah, I was surprised at first because this is kind of not very useful. Of course, if you have like a large, like a scan, and you want to use it as reference, it's kind of okay. You can maybe just like trace from the side view, things like this. This is still kind of useful, but only using it as reference. But still, yeah, would be nice if we can just use it as snapping. Maybe it will come in the future. The next best thing is to use the STEP format. The indie version doesn't include IGES. I know with Blender there's actually this IGES exporter, and this is the file that can be used for subdivision surface model. And we don't have exporter for we have IGES exporter, but unless you have the studio version, you cannot import it into Plasticity. So the next best thing is to use STEP. So how do we get STEP? We don't have a STEP exporter from Blender unless you use unless you use FreeCAD and maybe FreeCAD add-on that's installed together with FreeCAD. So after I look around, ask around at the Discord for Plasticity, okay, IGES format is pretty good. I'll show you. So Suzanne, file, export, IGES, right? We have this. I'm gonna save this as my monkey, IGES. And if you try to import it, of course you cannot. It will refuse, basically. This is the format. This is the file. It will refuse. You cannot do it because you don't have the license. Okay, that sucks. So the next best thing is to use FreeCAD. I'll create new. Okay, let's start again. Okay, don't save. FreeCAD version 0.20.2. Okay, FreeCAD is cool. It's open source. I will open my monkey IGES. You will see, even though our Suzanne from Blender is not subdivided, when we open it, when we export it as IGES, it's actually has been subdivided, which is interesting. File, export as STEP. So we have STEP inside FreeCAD. Okay, I'll just save it as my monkey. And so now with Plasticity, we can open this. Hopefully, let's see. File, import my monkey STEP, and it's gonna take a while. Seems like a lot of data. Okay, now we have Suzanne, monkey head, and then this comes as 3 different sheets because we actually have the eyeballs, which is like a separate sheet, and then we have Susan. It comes as a sheet. It's not like a an OBJ, but we can always use the patch, right? This is a sub D. We can patch it very clean. There's a lot of details here. Let's turn off the X-ray. Now we can do like cool things that Plasticity is good at, like offset. Okay, maybe with the eyeball we need to just tap O, inset, O to inset. Okay, now we can offset. There might, I feel that there might be a slight bug sometimes. When we push and pull, you can see there's like a glitch. That could be a bug. I have to report it. But if the developer is watching this, then maybe you guys can help with that bugs. Okay, we have a lot of subdivisions happening around here. Maybe this is something that we can, you know, just delete and then repatch. So at this point, it's really, you can start, but you know, you can start playing around with this. It's just the monkey head, right? But we managed to bring it into Plasticity, which is super handy. Now we can push and pull the surface. The nice thing, of course, this is inside Blender is all polygon. Inside Plasticity is a parasolid or parametric solid. I don't know what's the exact definition for this format, but yeah, as you can see, we can just push and pull. It can be sometimes a little bit, seems like to be a little bit heavy for my computer, but it still work. Maybe this, we have a lot of weird areas like this. Sometimes you can push, sometimes you cannot. But you can always do cool things like a cut, right? We can, because this is a parasolid, we can just use the spline or like a boolean and then C cut. Let me try again. C and then right click. Oh, we cannot cut. Oh, we did. Okay. Cool. All right. What else can we do here? Okay. Oh, if you want to export Suzanne and you want to keep all these sharp lines, you can use the edge split, right? And then edge split subdivide. You're testing out by adjusting this edge angle. If you want everything to be subdivided and split, you can use edge angle of 0. And then now if you export again, I think file, export, IGES, you will see this is my monkey 2. Export and then back to FreeCAD. Let's open this monkey 2. You can see we have the hard edge, and file, export my monkey 2. Now with a step format, I want to bring this into Plasticity. You will see the file, import my monkey 2. We're gonna have the hard edge. Okay, now, okay, this is what we want. Turn off the X-ray. And okay, yeah, we have the hard edge, which is nice. We can push and pull some areas. Sometimes it refuses. We have the eyeball situations again. This one, let's patch holes. a shortcut there. We have face, inset. Okay, there's weird lines happening there. Doesn't matter, we can, okay, yeah, we can at least push that areas. All inset again. The inset, the second one must be cleaner. Push in. Okay, we cannot push too far somehow. Just like that. There must be something going on inside it, but we can't really go inside because it's like a parasolid. Maybe these areas we can. I'm trying to push and pull some areas. There must be a lot of things going on underneath, but we can always, you know, Shift X and then select these areas and then patch the hole. We have new areas. Oh, okay, not too bad. Yeah. Select the eyebrows and smooth. Can we smooth it? Oh man. Okay, we can smooth that areas. I think Susan face is rather, it's pretty complex, right? It's like almost like a human face. At least we can do that, you know, make a hole on a Susan head, and it's a solid object. Okay, that's pretty cool. I guess we can put something inside Susan head. But okay, let's try a different example. This time, let's use skin modifier. We have a box, right, in Blender. Hit tab and then right click. Merge vertices to the center, so we have only single points. Now let's create a random extrusion of points. So this is Blender thing, of course, super basic, but Blender is one of the 3D apps where you can easily extrude points and then turning it into skin. And this is pretty special, okay? So I'm using skin modifier on a polygon edge, and as usual we can Control A and then we can make this, right? Skin test. And from this point, if we actually export it out, if we add split, we're gonna have the hard edge. Let's try this. File, export, IGES, Skinner. Let's save this as Skinner, export IGES. Okay, we can control the level of refinement, level 1, for example. File, open up, skin. Okay, we have a hard edge. File, export, step, Skinner. Now back to Plasticity. File, new, F, import, Skinner, step. Okay, we have this. Okay, we have heal, compute, whatever. Just okay for now. Okay, we have this from Blender. Okay, now we can play around with this. I turn off X-ray. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can make smooth areas. that seems to work. How about here? Okay, that works as well. Push and pull. You can always extrude. Okay, that's pretty cool. I think the strongest point of plasticity is you can E and then extrude in like this. So it's like totally non-manifold. However, because this is a parasolid, then you can do this quite easily. I think with IGES, okay, with the plasticity, you probably want to have some kind of roundness if you are actually working. So from here, don't use the edge split this time. We want to subdivide it, in fact. File, export, IGES, and then this is gonna be Skinner sub level 2, export IGES, and back to FreeCAD. You will see this time it's gonna be subdivided. There you go, it's rounded and nice and rounded, and this is what plasticity will like. So select an object, file, export, Skinner sub. Let's see what's the difference. Okay, this one is very hard edge. I mean, you can of course take advantage of that, right? And you know, you can do all sort of things. This could be like a, for example, like a spaceships. I really like this push and pull of areas. Maybe here, extrude and push it in. Now we go inside, right? Cool. Yeah, you can really design like a mecha kind of robot this way. I will explore this techniques maybe in the next video. For now, let's open up that import Skinner sub. It's gonna take a while. Okay, we got this. Okay, cool. Look at this guy now. Okay, turn off the X-ray. This is a rounded area, so we can push and pull. I think this is much cooler. Save this as plasticity Skinner sub. We can toggle the X-ray. Now it's simpler. When selecting, by default we are selecting edges, face and body. Let's just use the face. Now it should be easier to select this way. Okay, select the face like this. Look. Select, push and pull. Select this face. It takes a while to get used to these ideas of selecting. Okay, nice. Okay, look at this. Okay, we're gonna practice this selection. And then push and pull. It's like a pipe. But even that is it's a lot of fun. Super handy to make this type of detail. So again, this could be just, you know, like you're doing your 3D therapy, just pushing and pulling things. I don't recommend this, like I recommend you to do this time to time again if you just like to play around with the details, you know, like you can actually select a face and then control R and just do this isoform. kind of, could be like, you know, like it's an OCD kind of thing. So you are selecting face and you are doing push and pull. That's all what you will be doing. Sounds a bit crazy, but maybe this is fun. I'm thinking of, you know, like artists like Yayoi Kusama, and she likes to just paint and draw circles, but with plasticity or blender, and when you're doing this type of things like Yayoi Kusama, but you're pushing and pulling areas, and you just keep doing this until you're you know, until you're tired. Let's see. So the pipe thing, hey, just now I hold options and I can select this surface area. That's pretty handy. I didn't know we can do that. Apparently we can. So the same case there. I can actually see I'm holding options and we can select that area. Okay, and we can push and pull that area. That's cool. Option, let's see what else. Okay, you can select that area very quickly apparently. This maybe select edges like that. Control 3, now it's selecting the face and we can push and pull. So it's almost like a pipe, you know, it's bridging a lot of things, and we can select, maybe we can separate that area if you want to. These squares patterns, it comes from subdivision export that we did with IGES, I think. If you hit O, okay, the O unfortunately doesn't do inset. I mean, it's doing inset for every face. Maybe you want that. You can push it in. Still being selected, Control 2, and then just bevel or fillet that areas. Maybe that's what you want. It's 1, 2, 3 area, just push it in. I think this is kind of nice actually. It seems simple, right? Skin modifier, you subdivide in Blender. Oh, it's looking like this, like some kind of organic creatures. You export it out into plasticity and suddenly you can push and pull areas. If you work in Blender, if you with polygons, you get a lot of polygon face, and it's starting to get, you might feel a headache looking at all this. But if it's in plasticity, for example, you like that areas, and I just delete it. We can patch this, I believe, right? Suddenly we have these nice areas, slightly different when you are working with polygon. Of course, you can still do the same thing, but in here, it feels cleaner if you think of the surface like a parametric areas. I don't know what's the exact word for it. I just like working this way. It's cleaner. Suddenly you can select these areas, make it rounded whenever we want. Of course you can do the same in Blender, it's just slightly different. It's like there's a bit of freedom there. With non-manifold, we don't think too much about polygon, n-gon. We don't make a cut that way. Everything is like a surface. So I should have learned about CAD modeling software. Of course I like polygon modeling as well. It's just different. This seems to be friendlier. It's like the pushing and pulling part. These areas I don't like. I mean, you can clean it up with patch. Shift X, delete that area, and then patch. Now suddenly it's smooth. So we have these areas. We can push and pull. Oh, it refuses. Extrude. So extrude actually works. And still a single solid objects. So yeah, definitely lots of cleaning up if you want to continue with this. So you can push really quite far away and create like some kind of armor. What I really want to do next, probably find out a way to create like a kind of like a balls and socket, like what do you call it, stick balls and sticks, and how this part can connect to the next one, but kind of believable. If I use sphere and just put it there at the end, this is also kind of handy. You can bevel that areas. Very clean, right? And perhaps I want to make a connections with the next part of this kind of work in progress. Mecha robots. Should be like a connection socket balls here. But this doesn't look like anything. Maybe like a star, mechanical creatures. Okay, this, I think that's kind of nice, I guess. Select the areas, bevel it. Okay. This part could be like some kind of arms, tentacles of some sort. There you go. Right click, still selected. Okay, cool, that's handy. Control 2. Yeah, like a flower. Yeah, that part is nice. It's very unusual. And yeah, I wish there's a way to, I like this thing, I want to connect it there. Of course we can do that. There is a way to do that. I think before Plasticity or before Moa 3D and before Shaper 3D, CAD is really quite complicated. And before Blender, you have Maya and Houdini, and there's a lot of other 3D app out there. Even sculpting, like we have Zebras, and Zebras kind of 3D artist friendly. Not really. Zebras interface is like the worst. It's really complicated. It's not. I mean, you can learn the Zebras interface, but it's too crazy. Back then there was like a mud box, and you can sculpt. But this day you have Nomad Sculpt on the iPad. It's the friendliest sculpting 3D software. And yeah, of course, there's also Blender for 3D sculpting. So there's a sculpting, there's this hard surface modeling tools or CAD. Now with Plasticity, it's like this is very accessible for not like, even if you're not 3D artist, even if you are 3D artist and then you normally never really use CAD, you only use like polygon modeling, and then there's box cutter, grid modelers. Plasticity is like still like kind of new, super friendly tools to do this kind of thing. Okay, this is Control R, and then Control R and tab. I can make that divisions. You can easily make cut as well. I think Control R should do the job. Not always working. I'm trying to find. Okay. Control R. Selecting these areas, going around it like a ring. Control R. Yeah, it doesn't seem to work instantly. I can split like that and then select this face. Control R again, split again. Okay, interesting. I can keep doing this all day. Oh, this also okay. Neat, useful features in Plasticity. Edge into height. We can do that. It's probably not the cleanest. I'll try. Oh, it's pretty clean actually. We have that section there. Looks very rounded. Then we can bevel these areas. This part is not the cleanest cut. That's okay. Just a quick test, and then these areas push and pull. We cannot. You might think we can just extrude. Okay, that works. These areas, about these areas, 1, 2, 3. extrude with E and then push it in. That actually works. So sometimes you can offset face, sometimes you need to have extrusion, but that's an interesting detail, right? Maybe we can even go all the way. So I quite like that area, this part. So I like the fact that we can just all click some of these areas. I didn't know we can do that in Plasticity. So I like this part. For example, I can extrude it. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, we have this band. We have this ring. We can push and pull. Another flower. And perhaps let's use just the edge. Okay. Bevel that area. Oops. Bevel that. While still beveling, I want to select more edges. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, I think I just crashed Plasticity, but yeah. Anyhow, let's close that. Plasticity. So back to the last part. Okay, let's be. So I was doing this edge selections. I want to make sure we have the same bevel. Anyhow, that works anyway. Yeah, this is part. Maybe you can rotate, thing like that. These areas we can Shift X delete. Now patch. So the patch keep the roundness as well. So this part can be like an eyeball, for example, an eye sockets. That's part. So flowers and pipes and whatever it is, subdi areas, all, yeah, these weird kind of creations that's coming out of Blender skin modifier. So I guess this is, it's all just a tool, but it's what's available to you. as an indie artist, right? I guess this is pretty powerful tools. There you go. Yeah, just push and pull in Plasticity is like, it's like, wow, I still find it incredible. Why is that so? Because in the past, before Plasticity, actually you're not able to do this really. It's not that easy to do CAD modeling this way. It's impossible. Okay, this is cool. You can actually go all the way. You have the sharp areas. This is also really handy. Yeah, let's keep that. Can be useful. Yes, you can keep going with this. Some of the details you might think, okay, that's, you know, it's like a basic cut, but not really sometimes. Oh, if you found an area that's actually flat like this, you can then make a cut using box. Something like this, for example, shift space bar. Now we have this grid. We can try a cut. On the face. At this point, I really wish there's like a grid modeler inside Plasticity. Okay, never mind. Let's try a different cut before I finish this video. Okay, I select that area and then just hit E, and extrude doesn't work. I wish there is like a normal extrude sometimes. Maybe if we select like a loop like that, we can extrude, we can offset. Yeah, that also does not quite work. Shift X, we might be able to patch that areas. Select this. Okay. That's actually pretty hard. I mean, I'm selecting these areas. I want to loft it into this area, so L. Oh, that seems to work. Keep it linear. So select this. So this is L. Select it. So I'm creating these areas. That's okay. It becomes like a sheet of object, but as soon as we cover this, L, can we join all of them again? We have solid. Okay. That's really interesting. Shift X, loft it. Okay, we maybe loft it this way. L. Okay, that's a little bit weird. Can push these areas. Okay, I think I should be finishing with this these areas. I could maybe use like explode and then exploring these areas. I think too many subdivisions starting to confuse me, but all I want is like a clean surface, and then I make like a simple cut, and that part is interesting. If it's too many face like this, I don't quite like it, but we can of course extrude that areas. Now Control 2, bevel. This part is pretty nice. Yeah, that cut is also pretty nice. Yeah. Unusual. Okay, so I guess that's pretty much for this video. Maybe in the next one I can use this, bring it into Blender. Okay, plasticity crash again. I can bring it back into Blender so I can do like a mirroring, right? From that simple basic thing. File, force quit, plasticity. Plasticity. If we do like a mirror in here, mirror. Yeah, I guess this will work as well. But sometimes I like to do it inside Blender. But this is kind of nice. Okay, some kind of robot. Now we can perhaps rig it in Blender and then animate it. Okay, yeah. We will explore this maybe in the next video, like, you know, making like a proper robots, you know, from skin modifier, and then, you know, do this inside plasticity again. But these areas can be cleaned up. Yeah, it's like you're working with NURBS, but also you want to work like a, you know, like a polygon modeling. Okay, yeah. Hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.